I forgot about these books. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If it's the first time on my channel, welcome for the first time. If it's not the first time, welcome back. Oh my goodness, I really hope I get to the stage where people start seeing my interest with me, but until then we keep striving. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about books that I have not thought about since I read them. I did this type of video during Bookmas or before Bookmas, I'm not so sure. But I'm so excited to talk about more books that I've not thought about since I read them, because it turns out that all the books I'm reading are just surface level, not so interesting, and they are mostly 3 stars, which is kind of sad and annoying because I enjoy my time reading those books, but I find out that with time, I tend to forget that I've read those books. I'm always like, what's the essence of reading a book if you don't remember that you read the book? But let's just get into today's video. So I have some books here with me. I think they're like, how many books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 books here with me that I haven't thought about since I read them. Let's just get into it. First book is Pets. I bought this because of the cover, solely because of the cover, but I don't think I'll be reading any book by this author again. As I picked this book up, I just remember what this book is about. This was the most awkward and weirdest book I've ever read in my entire life. Absolutely not. Let me just read them. You guys, I flipped this book and I just saw the price of this book was 3,000 naira at the time that I got it. Crazy. But the synopsis says, there are no monsters anymore, or so the children in the city of Lucille are taught. Jam and her best friend Redemption have grown up with this lesson all their life. But then Jam meets Pet, a creature made of horns and colors and claws, who emerges from one of her mother's paintings and a drop of Jam's blood. She must reconsider what she has been told. Pet has come to hunt a monster, and the shadow of something grim lurks in Redemption's house. I can't read. And the shadow of something grim lurks in Redemption's house. Jam must fight not only to protect her best friend, but also uncover the truth and the answer to the question, how do you save the world from monsters if no one would admit they exist? Weird book. Crazy writing, do not recommend. But this book is so pretty. So when they say don't judge a book by its cover, this book is so beautiful, but I would not read this again. I would not recommend this book to anybody, and I honestly can't remember what happened, but based on the synopsis, I think I can only remember the monster coming out from my mother's painting. Apart from that, I don't know how this ended. I don't know how it turned out. That's it. Next book is Zainab Takes New York. This was a very nice read. This was a good read. I enjoyed my time reading it, but after reading it, I've not thought about this book at all. It just follows Zainab moving to New York, and you're just following her life. It feels like a vlog now that I think about it. It just stops when she has like found her footing, or how did they put that stuff? Yeah, but that's just basically it. I'm going to read the synopsis just for you guys to understand. Zainab Seki is on a quest to find herself. She's moving to New York City to pursue her lifelong dream to become an illustrator, but she doesn't want to get a job. She's also on a mission to make enough money to go on a night out, buy a whole bottle of wine, not just a glass, and most importantly of all, to fall in love. But as she grows accustomed to the hustle and bustle of city life, with help from her new roommate Mary Grace, a lifelong friend Densua, she begins to hear the voices of her ancestors in her mind. Could understanding her family's past hold key to Zainab's future? Weird book as well, because tell me why she's hearing voices of her ancestors in her head. Weird book, but I enjoyed my time reading it. Do I recommend? I'm not so sure, because I really like recommending books that would stay with people, or that people would find themselves attached to. Do you understand? Poetic, lyrical type of books, but this didn't feel like that. That's why I was able to forget it easily. But yeah, I haven't thought about it since I read it. Next book on my list is What Mama Left Me. The only thing I remember about this book is the fact that her mom died and her dad... Is that a spoiler? Okay, it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. If I talk about her dad, it's a spoiler. But her mom died. Okay? So I'm going to read the synopsis so that both of us can know what this book is about, because those are the only things I can remember about this book. Serenity is heartbroken. Her mother is dead, her father is gone, and she and her brother are starting over by moving in with their grandparents. I think they're ministers in church, if I remember correctly. At first, things seem good. A friend who makes her feel connected and a boy who makes her feel seen. But when her brother seems to be going down the wrong path, the old fears set in. Will he end up like their dad? Will she end up like their mom? Can Serenity let go of the past and secrets she's been keeping? Can she repair her heart? Another, like I say, surface level book. I feel like a lot of these books have such deep synopsis, but like the authors are not hitting the nail. Like they are not going as deep as I would want them to. I read books to, feel connected to characters, to feel like there's a different world that exists apart from this certain, world that I'm in. Do you understand? Like there is the world of Serenity and I'm being put in a world. I'm seeing things from her view. I'm seeing things that are happening in that world on a deeper level, on a level that it feels like it's real. Do you understand? That is why I read books, but this didn't feel like that, especially when he's exploring the topic of grief. I expected way more, but maybe because Serenity is way younger, I think she's in her early teens, so maybe that's why the grief stuff didn't hit as hard. But still, it was an okay book. It was nice. You just want to have a semi-good time. You just want to relax, nothing too serious, nothing too over the moon. You can pick up this book and read. I feel like out of the books that I've talked about so far in this video, this is one I would actually recommend. But yeah, the next book is by an author that I really loved at the beginning of my reading again journey. I decided to pick up another book by this author and I should have just left it at that. I should have just left it at one book that I read by this author. I feel like I would have had a better perception of this particular author. But anyways, I read it and this book is The American Roommate by Elena Armas, I think. Apparently this author has written another book which I'm not going to pick up or read because this felt very basic. It felt like every other romance novel. It felt very surface level. I did not really enjoy reading this. I only read this book to finish it, not because I was enjoying it. And it didn't even feel like the characters were in love, just felt like they had to be in love because the story, has to move on. So I'm going to read the synopsis for you guys. It says, sometimes love just needs a little inspiration. Rosie Graham has a problem. A few, actually. First, she quit her well-paid job to focus on her secret career as a romance writer, only to enter a creative slump. Then the ceiling of her New York apartment falls in. To make matters worse, when she heads to her best friend's apartment, she finds that Lena has already lent the studio to her cousin, Lucas, who Rosie has been, for lack of better word, stalking on Instagram. When Lucas, how do you pronounce that name? I don't know what's wrong with my tongue or my throat, but reading and speaking is a bit weird today. But the show must go on. Anyways, when Lucas suggests that they share the small space, Rosie discovers that he strolls around the place in a towel, has a distracting grin, an irresistible accent. Is it accent or accent? And cooks meals that are just as tempting. Then he learns about Rosie's writer block and proposes an outrageous idea. He'll take her on a series of experimental dates to ignite a literary muse. This shouldn't be a problem because Lucas stays in New York. Lucas's stay in New York also has a deadline, but she might find it hard to write now. The research is so much more fun. So yeah, I guess you can put one and one together and figure the whole story out. He's a writer, creative block, decides to help her. That's why I feel like they weren't so in love. I feel like it was just more of physical attraction. But yeah, at least I read it. One of the most painful things is having to buy a book, like spending my money on a book and then not enjoying it as much as I would want to enjoy it, because it then feels like I've wasted money and space, which I really prefer ebooks. Like it's cheaper and just better. And if I now want to invest in that book, I can now buy a physical copy, which I really do. Do you understand? But then again, what if the physical copy ends up being one of my favorite books? It would be so nice to have something to like hold. Do you understand? I'm just in between. I don't even know which one to pick, but it's still very painful when I buy a physical copy and it doesn't hit as hard as I would want a physical copy book to hit. Because if you're physical in my hand, I feel like the characters just feel like they exist somewhere. But sometimes these characters just only end up existing in the author's head, and a lot of times I can't even imagine them properly. But anyways, I haven't thought about this book since I read it. Next book is a book that I think I was reading this author's book and I was just reading it back to back, and out of all the three that I read, I think this was actually my favorite. But the fact that I haven't thought about this book is really weird to me, and this is The Bride Test by Helen Huang, the author of Kiss Questions. This was my favorite. This was the one that didn't have so much physical attraction, if I remember clearly. The first two I didn't like so much. I think they're on my shelf somewhere here. The Heart Principle and the Kiss Questions. I don't think I liked those two as much. I feel like I liked this one better. But the thing is, I haven't even thought about this book since I read it. Now that I'm holding this book, I can't think I can remember the first scene of the main male character's mom meeting the lady. I think she sets the girl up with her son. Let me just read the synopsis for you guys. Kai Kai Diep has no feelings. Well, not big, important emotions like grief and love. He thinks he's defective. His family knows better that his autism means he just processes emotions differently. When he steadfastly refuses to consider a relationship, his mother takes matters into her own hands and returns to Vietnam to bring him the perfect bride. As a mixed race girl living in the slums of Ho Chi Minh City, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Esme? Oh my god, you guys. Esme Tran. I'm sorry, has always felt out of place. I'm sorry, okay? I don't know how to pronounce that name, but ESMETRAN has always felt out of place. So when the opportunity arises to go to America and meet a potential husband, she can't turn it down. This could be the break her family needs. Seducing Kai, however, doesn't go as planned. Esme's lessons in love seem to be working, but only on herself. She's hopelessly smitten with a man who's convinced he can never return her affection. As Esme's time in United States dwindles, will Kai let his head catch up with his heart, or can he find the strength to let go and let love in? I enjoyed this book. Can't remember anything as usual, but from the synopsis, I think you get the gist. You know how this story goes. But this book feels so good. It feels like what a physical copy book should feel in my hands. Like, not too long. I think this book is about, I don't remember about the pages. Plus the author's note is 300 pages on the dot. It just feels very bookish. Like, I don't know. It feels very, like it's not so big. It's just compact. But yeah, I haven't thought about this book since I read it, and I don't think I want to get rid of it because it looks so pretty. It's yellow, the spine is beautiful, the size is perfect, the length is perfect, so I'll be keeping it. The book I'm about to talk about is a book I really wish I didn't even bother reading, and the thing is, I decided to thrift book. You know, they are cheaper, do you understand, than getting a new book. I decided to thrift the book, and this is the one time I thrifted the book and I regretted it absolutely. Wish I didn't thrift this book at all, just left it in this world and I was in my own world, because I still feel the same reading it. I just feel a bit scarred. I feel like I'm exaggerating, but I feel a bit scarred from reading this book, because like, what do you mean this is a storyline that makes sense in your head? But anyways, this book is We Write the Stars. If any of these books I'm talking about are books that you've loved, I'm so sorry, but these are my personal opinions. These are based on my personal preferences. Please do not take them to heart. I beg of you. You also might not like all the books that I love, so let's just take it as people have their own opinions and let's leave it at that, okay? We Write the Stars. The funny thing is, some of these books I've tabbed them, especially this one, I tabbed it. I don't know what I was thinking, but this is such a very crazy storyline. I don't understand why the female character couldn't just pick one and just stay on one. I don't know, it was just crazy to me. It's now that I'm picking up the book that I'm even remembering how this played out. Like, what do you mean? But yeah, synopsis as usual. From the moment they meet one December day, there's something between Charlotte and her brother's best friend Tom. Yet Tom's already taken and Charlie has to let him go. Charlie shot for Charlotte. It's another 5 years before their paths cross again, but a secret from the past forces Charlie to make a choice. She promises herself she'll never look back. The years pass and Charlie moves on with her life, but she can never forget Tom. He's always there whispering, what if? Can Charlie leave the life she has built for one last chance with Tom, or is the one that got away not really the one at all? Crazy storyline. She's in love with her brother's best friend. They have history. He moves on, she moves on. I feel like it was more of a right person, wrong time. But I don't even think he's the right person in the first place, because I don't think it was even my favorite male main character. It wasn't given. So I don't know why Charlotte was in love with him. It felt like wrong person, wrong time kind of thing. But I feel like she was still in love with him even after moving on. But when you really, you follow it up and you know the decision she made. I cannot remember, so I can't say. But then again, it's going to be a spoiler even if I remember that I said it. Let's move on. We've come to the last book. And last but not the least, we have The Mystery of Hidden Gold. I got this book for 900 naira. If we're going to do it to dollar currency, I don't know when I got this book. I really wish I was adding dates to when I get books, but like, this was published in 2011, so I think I probably got this in 2015, 2016. So let's assume I got this in 2015, 2016. I just looked up the exchange rate. For a dollar to naira was 197. So 197, I just turned on my flashlight instead of a calculator. What was that? So 900 naira divided by 197, it was $4. $4? Are you for real? Okay, as at that time, okay, it makes sense. As at that time, it was $4. I didn't even have to do exchange rate because it's actually showing £4 here. This girl, you're something else. But anyways, enough of the price. The Mystery of Hidden Gold. Gold is hidden. They go on a treasure hunt. Let's read the synopsis. A game of hide and seek in the lighthouse during a dramatic thunderstorm leads to an amazing discovery, a tattered treasure map. Scott, Jack, and Emily can't wait to search for the hidden gold, but first they must solve the clues to uncover its secret hiding place. Meanwhile, a secret rival is after the treasure, someone who doesn't plan to let the friends get away. You can see that it's more of a young adult treasure hunt type of thing. It felt like a cartoon when I was reading it, and I enjoyed reading it, but I honestly don't remember anything except for the ending scene where they found the treasure and something happened. I can't remember the details of what happened, but yeah, I haven't thought about this book since I read it, and you can see I feel like this one is a little, this one is valid because 2015, that's like 10 years now. Yeah, I have a reason for not thinking about it since I read it. These are all the books that I haven't thought about since I read them. I really enjoy talking about books that I haven't thought about since I read them because I get to remind myself that, hold on, you read this book sometime in your life. Yeah. They might not have had the impact that you thought, at least you read them. So yeah, these are all the books. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know. Don't forget to like this video. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I feel like you've watched it to this point. You probably like my voice, you like my vibe, you just want to look at my face. Either of the two, or whatever reason is personal to you, please subscribe and stay for those reasons, okay? Also leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read any of these books and if they're any of your favorites. But if any of the words that I've said might have hurt you, I'm very, very sorry. They're just my personal opinion. You also have personal opinions about the books that I love, I think. But anyways, I hope to see you in my next video. I love you so, 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 so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.